And we are live. Hi, guys. Hi, everyone. Sorry about the delay. We had a couple of issues. Good morning, good evening, good whatever, wherever you are. Welcome to the top 10 games of all time. I'm Fly as usual, and today with me I have a couple of guests.
Hello, my name is Paulo Rebelo. Yeah. You?
I'm Thiago. I usually win at everything against these guys, but
Yeah, I
what
don't
else
really.
is new?
I always try to fight against.
Yeah, it's true. It's
I
it's
know.
half true. It's half true. So I don't actually know how many people we have right now. Oh, we have two. We have a couple of people watching. Okay, we have a couple of people now. So,
Hello, everyone.
hi guys. Again, sorry about the delay for all of you guys joining us right now. So it's our first time doing this. The top 10 of whatever, the top 10 games of all time. How hard was it for you guys to come up with the games for the list?
For me, it was pretty easy. I always rank my games on Board Game Geek. After I play a game, I always score it, and then it was simply looking at my BGG list, and it was easy from there.
For me, it wasn't that easy. I tried in the beginning of this hobby to make my list, but then I got bored of doing it. So I
As
just
usual.
kept the memory of it. It's already a lot of games that I played. I'm happy with the selection I did, although a lot of really good games are out of my list, which I think I'll hear some of them from them.
Yeah,
I'll agree with
it's
them.
always hard to pick just 10 games to put on the list. They should make a top 10
Yeah.
with 20 games.
We should do the continuation after.
They should do that.
And it's always training.
Yeah, it's never easy. The thing you said about the ranking, I don't do that because I acknowledge some games are better than other, but I don't want to play them all the time.
Right.
So I didn't go with that. But still, most of the games on my lists are very highly regarded by me.
So you want to select games that you want to play all the time.
Yeah. So the games on my list are games that usually you are you done for this game? Yeah, absolutely. Let's go.
All right.
They don't have to be perfect games, like huge perfect games. It's just games I want to play all the time, you know?
Yeah, my thought is a little bit different. I chose the ones that I had the best experiences and that I wish I could play them more times, although some of them are a little bit hard to find the right group to play them. But when I do, it's quite an experience. So
Absolutely.
that's what I'm talking about.
Absolutely. So by the way, how is the audio on your ends? Let me know, okay? I don't know if you've done a private list from past years, and how did the list fluctuate from the past years until now?
It changed a bit. I have a few games over here that are recently released, so it changed a little bit.
I think I was pretty faithful to some games that when I play them, they mark me and I stay with it. Not that that many new games, actually, most of them are becoming already classics. So yeah, so let's see.
Okay. Yeah, so for me, yeah, it fluctuates a lot. I don't know, it keeps changing all the time. I don't know what it is. A lot of new good games keep coming out, and well, they keep coming up onto my list.
Okay.
So we got the feedback that the audio is good. All right. So all right, let's get on with it. And as usual, this is going to be our opinion. It will be our favorite games. All right. They're not the best games of all. They're our favorites. Okay, so take that with a grain of salt. And now, without further ado, let's go. You want to start?
All right. My number 10 is Detective Club. This is
Ooh.
the best party game, in my opinion. It had to be on my list because whenever I want to play games with large groups, I always take this one, and even with people that never play the game in their life, they always have a good time with this game. And so it's easy to teach, easy to understand, easy to play. Even if you're it's a social deduction game, but even if you're a bad liar, it's super funny. It's fun for everyone. It's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Every time I play that, it's always laughter. There's always a huge amount of laughter.
Yeah, I'm not that much into party games and social games, but actually with this one I had fun.
Yeah, it's really fun.
So yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So you want to start with mine now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
so what's yours?
Mine is a little bit bigger.
Big box.
My number 10, I brought the big box because all my games are like quite big, the ones I really enjoy. So this one is I made the first Kickstarter with the base game and another expansion, the Pearl Brook. I really enjoyed it. Then they released more expansions, and at the end I bought this big box. For me, this is one of those, it's a worker placement. It's like a fable. You have animals and you reincarnate each of them. And there are so many modules in this box that actually I can make the roleplay value. It's like huge. And I really enjoy it. Yeah, I like card games. I like worker placement. And I love the graphics of this.
Well, yeah, that sure is a huge box. Look at that.
Yeah. And I just bought the cover because I couldn't hold it if I had the whole game.
Right.
Yeah, but this is quite a good one.
Yeah, it's a bit of a tough time if you play with all the expansions. If you just put like one or two, it's perfect.
Yeah, I remember playing with all the expansions like a couple of years ago. Well, not all, because a few of them just recently arrived. But yeah, it's just a bit too much. And I've played with 6 players, I think. Which is that the max player count? Yeah,
for
it's
me,
not.
That's not a good number. For me, most of the games are better 4 or 3 players. Why? Because you don't stay so long waiting for a person to remember all the things he needs to activate in their cards. And
right.
Yeah, and with a lot of players, it becomes a little bit boring to wait for your turn. My favorite expansion of this is Pearl Brook. For me, it's the most fun one. The game became for gamers, and that's the sort of game I like to play.
All right. So chat is saying that Thiago's audio is a little bit far. Could you put your mic closer, please? Thank you. So let's get on with it. My number 10. Sorry, I need to go over there. Sorry. Excuse me.
Be careful with this. The chaos of doing it live. Yeah.
My number 10 is 1. Just 1. Yeah, so this is my favorite party game. Yeah, this is just so good. I keep coming back to this. I play this all the time. Whenever I get a new group, and I mean, we run board gaming groups, so we get new people all the time, people that's never played a board game before, and I always warm people up with this. This is so good. Everyone always has an amazing time. It's always very fun, a lot of laughter. It's always a very fun experience for everyone. What do you guys think?
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. Again, not into really live games,
yeah,
but
I know.
every time he brings to our group, we have a group in Almada, and it's always a good gateway game for new beginners, and it's also enjoyable for us.
Yes, it's a very, very solid game. Yeah, so my number 10, just 1.
A game doesn't have to be complex to be good.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah.
Although I have another opinion about it. That's why it's good to have different perspectives.
No, it doesn't.
I love it.
A game doesn't need to be complex to be good.
Yeah, but it's the replay
doesn't.
value. I always want to go to the complex ones, but it's my opinion.
Yeah,
it's
sure. Yeah,
in the beginning.
Absolutely.
Okay, so
So,
nine.
number 9.
Number 9.
Now we start with number 9. I don't have the box. It's Darwin's Journey.
I have the
Darwin's
box
Journey.
at home.
Darwin's Journey is just a gorgeous production. It's beautiful. The components, the art, and what I like the most about it is even though it's a bit teamless, you don't feel like you're an explorer, sure, but the mechanics are so good. Everything combos into something else. You feel like each turn you feel like you're doing something meaningful, and each turn is very satisfactory. I don't know if that's a word. I just made that up.
It is.
Yeah.
I think it is.
I think someone invented it before. Yeah, yeah, but I agree. I have that game. I made the whole Kickstarter. He always wins it, but although I always want to fight back so that one day I overcome my nemesis.
And
yeah,
I still want to try the expansion.
Yeah. We still didn't have time for that, but this is a really good game with a very nice mechanic of upgrading your worker for the worker placement. So yeah, you customize it to go to specific areas in the board, and you feel really satisfied when you start seeing that your worker is becoming more versatile and everything. Yeah,
I haven't played that yet.
Well, really?
I haven't. Really? Yeah, I haven't played it yet.
Should try with him.
Yeah, I need to play it.
It's sad for me, but it's maybe you overcome.
It is what it is.
The winner.
I need to fix that.
Yeah.
Okay. So now I'm gonna get my number 9. Okay, so this I really like this game, Arcadia Quest. This is from one of the designers I was really addicted for a long time, Clank. He did Blood Rage, which I love. He did Rising Sun, which is also a beautiful game. I had a huge fight inside of myself not to bring all of his games, but this is my favorite one. I have most of the expansions. This is a chibi, sort of a dungeon crawl, and you're fighting against each other in a very funny way. We roll dice, and when they burst, you roll more dice, and sometimes you have a overkill, which is quite fun. And you customize a very simple sort of RPG. So yeah, I love this game. Yeah,
there's a lot of dice. I haven't played it yet.
Yeah. This one I need to show you.
Yeah,
played it already?
I played it, and it's very fun.
Okay,
it's a
you need to
no-brainer.
bring it. Yeah, okay.
It's like a no-brainer game. It's just to throw dice and have fun.
Yeah, I mean, the artwork is really good. I really love the artwork.
Yeah,
and I need to play that.
And they have lots of characters that came, and some of them make fun of, are like chibi versions of Disney characters, of lots of different, even of Jon Snow, I have a character. Yeah, it's a fun one.
Yeah, so Salsa is saying that he has the original Masmorra, the game, that inspired the English version. Have you played Masmorra?
Yeah, Masmorra is like a more simple version of this. I tried Masmorra, but I had played this before, and I didn't actually enjoy that much Masmorra. It's a very simple version of this. This, for me, it's much more complete, but this is my opinion. If you enjoy Masmorra, good for you.
It was a different designer as well.
No, yeah, but it had the participation of Clank there. Okay. Yeah, they wanted to do like they do with all the games in this company called Cool Mini or Not, which is Milk the Cow. They have Zombicide, thousands of them, and Arcadia Quest, they started doing in space. They did it Masmorra, and they tried. But this, for me, it's the best one, the original version of it.
All right, so he was saying that he never played Masmorra, just the dice version. It used to be a Brazilian game. Okay, I didn't. Oh, okay. Hence the name. All right. All right. So my number 9 is a co-op game. Another co-op game. It's Pandemic. All right. Yeah, it's an old game, and by Pandemic I mean all the Pandemic system. Right. So I really love puzzles, and this is another puzzle. All right. Yeah, I've been playing this for a really long time, and I enjoy it every time. I enjoy solving the puzzle. I enjoy everything about it. Uh, Again, this is that co-op spot that I could have just as easily. I could have put something like Sky Team, but it's a game for 2 players only, and I usually play with more people, or something like Marvel United.
Well,
But
really good.
there's some people who don't like Marvel. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
I don't know what's wrong with that.
But I never tried this version of Pandemic.
Yeah.
I'm curious about that. I have the Cthulhu one,
Hmm.
which was fun. I want to try this one.
Well, yeah, it's pretty fun. It's the same system, basic
Yeah.
Pandemic system with a few twists. But yeah, I still really like the game. I still play it a lot. So yeah, my number 9, Pandemic.
Approved.
So
number 8.
Number 8.
let's go to number 8. My number 8 is Sleeping Gods. Sleeping Gods is amazing. It has a great story, a great sense of exploration. I love going to a new island, seeing the surprise of finding out what crazy characters are in each and every island. I soloed the campaign 3 times to explore everything. I hope that Distant Skies, the new one, which is like it's not really a sequel. I think it's a standalone game in the same universe.
Mm-hmm.
It's a different setting, I think.
Yeah.
What I saw.
Right.
But I hope in this new one they fix some of the problems, because like the keywords in Sleeping Gods, they occupy all of the table, just the keywords. The combat is super hard.
Right.
So yeah, but it's a great game nonetheless.
Yeah, I did the whole a whole campaign of that, if you can call that. I really enjoyed. The gameplay was quite fun. Every time you had to fight like a monster, the mechanic was very original, and you're like managing a queue of different heroes and characters.
9,
Which
too much.
Yeah, but it's a fun one. It's not. I didn't feel overwhelmed with it. My only problem with the game at the end was that all the build-up is quite good. At the end, I was like, okay, it finishes like this, the story. But the whole experience, I would do it again because it's quite a good game. Yeah. I have another game from him.
Yeah, what I like about that game is the sandbox aspect of it. You can explore whatever, whenever, everywhere, anywhere. Yeah, it's really good overall.
Yeah, we played it and we didn't explore most of the islands on the south.
Yeah,
so we feel like
you can do it in a single go. You have to play it
many
times. Right.
So your number?
No, your number.
Mine. Oh, so yeah, my number 8. This one I don't have the box. I don't have the game, but I wish I had with all the expansions, because until now I just played it with the base game, and for me it was a huge surprise of experience. It's called Obsession.
Oh.
This is for me a game that I was in a group in Lisbon, and they were playing all the time and inviting me. And I looked at the board and I looked at the theme, and it wasn't. I didn't feel that connected with it. But one day I tried it, and it was wow. It's a really good game. Again, it's a worker placement. It's passed in like the period of, I don't know if you know the series Downton Abbey. It's like a mansion where you have the maids and everything. And it has lots of very nice mechanics just in the base game, that you are customizing the places where you put your workers. And each worker has a different color, and it's like a different person has a different job inside the mansion. And they can go to specific places. So you're like hiring people. And I loved it. I wish I had that game, and I want to play with all the expansions.
Yeah, well, yeah, it sure is very thematic. Yeah, you can really feel it.
Yeah, and it's
funny. It's really good.
In the
yeah,
film.
it's yes.
It has. You look at it; it's very serious. The photos and everything, like old photos of black and white. but sometimes you read a little bit of the background of the person, and actually it's quite fun.
It is. Yeah.
I need to try it.
You haven't tried it yet?
I have a
Yeah, you
colleague
need
that
to
is
try.
going to bring, I think, this next meeting. Yeah,
Nice.
and I want to play with it.
Yeah.
That's
All
it.
right.
So your number
So-
8.
My number 8. It's a deduction game. Logic slash deduction game. It's the search for Planet X. Again, as usual, I really enjoy the puzzle, and this is pure logic. So you're trying to find the Planet X, and you want to be the first one to do it. So you have the galaxy. The galaxy is divided into a few sectors, and each sector has an object. So a comet, an asteroid, a gas cloud, whatever, and one of them has a Planet X, and you need to find it according to a certain logic rules. And it's so fun. I mean, yeah, if you enjoy puzzles, you'll absolutely enjoy this. Yes, it's app driven. You need an app for this. I don't know any other way they could have done this, but yeah, if you're into that, I know there are some people who are against apps in board games, but this is fine. You just need an app. You're just asking an app something, and the app answers it back. It's not that.
It can be a good experience, but yeah, if I can play without the apps, at least I like a board game that I can play without. But if it's obliged, sometimes I don't really enjoy it. But I never tried this one. I'm curious about it.
It's not your kind of game. I'm guessing it's not your kind of game.
I don't know. I'm always getting surprised. Sometimes you bring party games, and I think I'm not gonna like it. And actually, after I like deduction. So
Maybe.
I don't know.
Okay.
I can try.
Yeah, we can play it.
Yeah.
So yeah, my number 8, Search for Planet X.
It's a good one.
Okay.
I played it once.
Number 7.
Mhm.
Do you have
Now-
any feedback?
Now I
this
do
one?
have the box for this one. My number 7, it's Aeon's End Outcasts. Now, all of Aeon's End, they're pretty much the same game. This one I like a little bit better because it has they introduce a neat new mechanic with where you have a powerful character that you can spend mana on, and then he executes like a really powerful ability. So I like this one better than the others. But it's a very unique deck building game. Very strategic, very precise. There's almost no luck, and it's so satisfying when you get that big turn where you just do like 20 damage in one turn. It's so satisfying. And it actually has a good story. I read through the whole Wikipedia page just to read the whole story.
There's a story.
Yeah, it's a really good story. Yeah, my number 7.
Yeah, I totally agree. I tried many of them of Aeon's End, the original one, and some that you brought, and yeah, it's hand managing, and when you discard, you have to pick the order which you do the discard, because after you just flip, you don't shuffle.
Yeah, just pick everything back over.
And this is like amazing. It's like you're planning even while you're discarding, and the bosses have minions, and it's quite good. It's quite good.
Yeah, it's a really good game.
Enjoyable.
I mean, for me, Aeon's Ends, they all feel the same.
Yeah, but I always enjoy it.
Yeah, it's a really good game. Nonetheless,
all the different characters are very different, so
yes.
it feels fresh.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, so now my number 7. This is one of my favorites. It's very hard for me to rank these games, like all these top 10. It's like, for me, sometimes they all seem to be almost at the same level. This is This War of Mine. I love this game. I like the app, the game, but I love the board game. I think it's one of the best translations from video game to board game. I like story driven. This is a tight game. You're trying to keep up the morale of 3 people inside a house that at the beginning is like abandoned. It's there's like a parallel to the war in
I don't know, some civil war.
Yeah, some Civil War. Many nowadays.
The Cold War?
Yeah, no. After, Bosnia. I think something like this. Maybe I'm saying something wrong. Yeah, and you have to make really tough choices that you wouldn't make during the period without war, and it's quite an interesting experience. Like a kid comes knocking at your door and he's asking for you to help his mother. She's ill, and you have few medicine, and you are thinking about the people that you have in your house, and you are thinking also about the mother of these children. So it's for people who don't like heavy thematic games. This is not for you, but for me, it's the way you look at it. You can have fun if you're not looking at it very seriously. And when I play that, I try to make it like light, the way we play.
Yeah, I mean, when you play something like that, you have to take it seriously. There are plenty other games.
Yeah, but dark humor.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But
I love this game. The story is really well written, and the game is really
all right. Okay, so Salsa is saying that this war of mine is in a fictional city called Pangoran in Grasnavia.
Yeah, I know that it's sort of like fiction, but it's like a parallel with these wars that were happening in Bosnia and other places. So yeah, you feel like that sort of environment. So this was my number 7.
All right. So my number 7, it's a racing game. Of course, it's Heat. It's the heat of the moment. So Heat is the ultimate racing game, actually. I've played a lot of racing games. I really like racing games. Formula D. What's that one called? Downforce. Yeah, you name it. I've played a ton of racing games, and this is the best by far. It has the sense of deck building without being deck building. You're playing cards. It's more of a hand management game. You're playing cards, and you need to choose when you play them. It's a heavy cards-driven game. Card-driven game. So you need to save your lower cards when you're cornering, and then when you're on your straight line, you just guess with it. And it's really fun. It's very fun. Even when you're lost, it's not that hard to come up ahead. Yeah. It's fairly easy. So yeah, this is a big hit for me. It's just amazing.
Yeah, and you never know who's gonna win. It's always neck and neck.
Right, yeah, you never know until the very end of the game, actually.
I played it a bunch of times in Board Game Arena because it's so much
fun. So,
that game.
Number 7, Heat.
On to number 6.
Number 6.
My number 6 is Earth. Look at that beautiful landscape.
It's that low? Really? How many more Earths do we have on your top 5?
Yeah, I like that one.
Number 6 is still pretty high. Look at this. Don't you want to go to Iceland? Anyway.
Yeah, that looks like Iceland.
No, this game is super fast to teach. It's easy to learn, but it's hard to master. It has so many things to think about, so many objectives, so many different strategies. But everyone I taught it, they learned it pretty well, and it went well most of the time. And yeah, it's great because there's no downtime.
Mm-hmm.
It has a very modern mechanic called the follow-up mechanic, where you just whenever someone does something, the other people they do the same thing but weaker. So I really like that mechanic. Mm-hmm. Yeah, solid game, Earth.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah, I really enjoy it.
It has that what is Race for the Galaxy mechanic, where you choose an action and everybody does the
follows.
well, yeah, not the follow, but the weaker parts.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, it reminded me of many games.
Yeah, it feels like a mix of a few other games. Yeah, it absolutely does.
Arc Nova, Terraforming Mars, and stuff like this
Wingspan.
in terms of the design and the order of the cards.
Right.
Yeah, but it's a different one. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's quite good. Okay, so mine, another very light game, and small walks, which I do enjoy. This is Deep Madness. Deep Madness. This is just the small box. I have another one.
That's a small box.
Yeah, the other one is just for the miniatures. This is where we put the rest of the game. So this is like a Survivor dungeon crawl, a little bit more like Alien sort of vibe, and mixed with, I don't know if you saw the movie, but the Sphere, which is about a group of people that know that something is wrong in the base underneath the water in a very deep. They had a crew there maintaining this base, but suddenly they stopped communicating. So they sent this group there, and what they see there, it's lots of monsters. Some of the rooms are underneath water, so you have a mechanic that you are doing actions inside the room that you need to get out as soon as possible because the oxygen is ending. So and each set is quite interesting. The story is very gory, and I really enjoyed it. Yeah, this
gory.
Deep Madness. They even have a character like Ripley with a cat, and they have another one like Samuel Jackson. Yeah.
Ah, right. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I love this game.
Yeah, I haven't played it yet. It's a one versus many game.
No.
Oh, no?
You're like controlling each person. You can control up to 2 or 3 characters, normal, and it's like 5 characters, and they're trying to survive. And there's always a mission that you need to activate certain points, and also fight against hordes of lots of monsters, a lot. But it's like all your inventory is quite effective, so you feel like you're killing minions and stuff like this. It's quite good. Yeah.
Okay.
I really love it. And you're also fighting with the psychological part. You can become insane and stuff like this. A little bit like Eldritch.
Eldritch Horror and Arkham
stuff. It's another game I really enjoy. So this was my number 6.
All right. So my number 6, it's a deck building game. I really enjoy deck building games, and it's Clank Catacombs, the latest Clank. I enjoyed that building, but not has a pure mechanism, like in Dominion. It's just the pure mechanism in all of itself. I like it attached to something else. So yeah, this is my game of choice. Oh man, it's so good. I already loved Clank as a whole. This is just, it has that race feel I love. You're delving in a dungeon, in a catacomb in this case, and you're grabbing loots. You just want loots, and you want to grab an artifact and get out as fast as you can before the other players. You don't want to die in there because there's a mean dragon that keeps shooting fire at you, and you don't want to die. You want to get out with all of your loot. I mean, this is so much fun. Have you guys played it?
Yeah, it's a pure luck. It's like you feel like you want to go deeper inside the dungeon because all the good stuff are more deep inside. But after you're like counting the minutes to just go out. And
it's very tense. I mean,
it's fun.
Can I make it out? Will I make it out?
The best part is when you flip the tiles 180 degrees and everyone goes,
yeah.
I'm screwed.
Yeah, it always screws everybody over. It's just so much fun. So yeah, my number 6, Clank Catacombs.
Good game. So now,
let's go to number 5.
I think I can help you there.
My number 5 is the one and only.
Oh wow!
Role Player Adventures. This game is such a fun. I'm just
a little bit more to my side.
This box is so big.
Yeah,
it's a really fun story. I mean, it was so fun to explore the campaign, to see the whole story play out. Really, really good. And it's so satisfying to solve a puzzle together with your team. You're like fighting a big baddie. It's like, it's impossible. But then you always come up with a strategy, with a way to solve the puzzle together with everyone. It's so satisfying. I love it. What else?
Hmm.
What else do you have to
Yeah,
say?
I'm not going to comment it because in a bit I will comment.
Oh, it'll come by later on somebody else's list.
Yeah.
So I've actually never played that. I've only played the base role player, which
Yeah,
you're just
which I
building your
also love.
character with dice.
Yeah, and
I haven't played it yet.
yeah, and
I need to try
with
it.
that, if you build like your character at the end of the game, if you want, you can save that the way you build that character and take it to this adventure, which is a very interesting mechanic.
Yep.
I will talk a little bit more in a bit.
All right.
You'll see why. I guess you know why.
All right.
Okay, so my number 5. This one is like sort of almost like a party game. It's very light, like all my games. Yeah, you see a perfect party game to bring.
Yeah.
This game is up to 6 players. I love this game. This is the second edition. They upgraded the components and the gameplay. I played the original one when I was in an event in Lisbon called LisboaCon. It was quite daunting the first time I saw it because it had a lot of components, a lot of mechanics, and at the beginning it wasn't an easy one to learn. But when I learned it, I knew I had to have this game. For me, this is one of the best 4X games in space. Yeah, it has a little bit of a Euro-ish sort of vibe, which I think makes it so much better than other games that are in space. And you're like customizing your ships. You have an economy, and yeah, it's quite a fun one. I really enjoyed it. Eclipse.
Yeah, I think it's the only space-themed game. I mean, sci-fi-ish game that I can enjoy because it feels like a Euro game.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's really good.
it's really good.
I usually don't like this kind of games, and this one I enjoy. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, it's a Euro game with some 4X mechanics.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just am sad sometimes that I don't play it that much because this sort of games needs to be, you need to put it on the table and it takes some hours. This is saying 25 minutes per person in a game. I do not
Yeah,
agree,
right.
and it's always dependent on those people that aren't able to make decisions. So when they put the timer on most of the games, and you have a person with one thing which we call normally analysis paralysis. Yeah, it can drag a game that it's only 25 minutes per person to 1 hour per person or more. Yeah, but I always enjoyed it. I don't get bored of it, and it's a really good one. Eclipse.
Yep, Eclipse. So my number 5, it's a war game. Roots. The only war game I will play. I don't like war games. Like, yeah, I don't. No, I don't like war games. This is the only war-ish game I can manage because it has a lot of Eurogame mechanisms. The whole combat thing, I really don't like conflicts, but the whole combat thing, you can avoid that. You can bypass that because the goal of the game is to be the first player to reach 30 points, and you can get points from doing something else besides combat. Sure, you get a lot of points if you fight, but yeah, there's a lot else you can do, and there's a ton of replayability. There's so many factions. Every time you play this with a given faction, it will always be a new experience. So yeah, I love this game. The interactions between all the factions are just amazing.
Yeah. This, for me, it's one of those games that I changed my experience the third time I played it. The first and second, I don't know if it was the person who taught it, that those sort of people, when they are explaining, like, at the middle of the game, you will understand the game. This has a lot of information. Each person has a whole mechanic that is different from everyone else, and with a lot of stuff. So, yeah, it's not an easy one to teach. I don't think so, at least well. And it's not easy to also memorize all the characters' abilities, which are very important for you to know, because actually for you to do any strategy, you need to know every single thing, at least I think so, that the other characters are doing.
Yeah.
Last time I played it. I played it with you, and you were patient enough to teach me all the characters that were in play at that day. And it changed my mind about the game, because the first times I really hated it, but the other time I really enjoyed it, and it was much more fun.
I mean, yeah, most people are not patient enough to learn about every other faction besides their own faction. So I usually just teach how do the other factions score points. That's how I usually teach it, and how to avoid it. Yeah, I think that's enough.
Yeah,
because it will come up on its own way.
Yeah, but sometimes it's nice to know the nuances of small nuances
right.
of the character, because sometimes you're doing something and actually with that character it doesn't work because he has certain different power, and so it's nice for you to know in advance that happens when you try to do something to that character. At least this is my opinion.
Right. No, yeah, it's important to know a few things, but yeah. So my number 5, roots.
Good. Okay.
Now,
any comments?
We're going to the good stuff.
Yeah, now it's the good stuff.
Number 4.
Number 4. My number 4
yeah.
is Dune Imperium,
Ooh.
the new one, Uprising. The new one, I think it's slightly better than the original. They fixed a lot of the problems that the original had. Like some of the cards were they said Spacing Guild, but it's like, so what? It doesn't do anything. Now they finally fixed some of the balancing issues, even though it's not perfect, but it's really, really good much better in my opinion compared to the original. Now this game is all about action compression. What is action compression, you ask? Is when you with one action you take the most for yourself and from other players.
What?
That's action compression.
How are you
Always
taking from other
learning.
players?
Because you're blocking other players, you're
right,
winning
yeah.
the combat. You're taking the card that the other player wanted.
I guess.
To block the other player's strategy. That's the thing. You have to, in this game, you have to always be mindful of what other people are doing. What's that guy's strategy? I'm going to block this spot because I know he's gonna want to go there.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. But I don't agree. I mean, it's a personal preference. That's the new one is a better game because it's much more combat focused than the other one.
Yeah.
You get a ton of points for doing combats. For some of the cards, some of the conditions, sometimes it gives you double the points if you pay something.
If you put the worms on the combat.
Yeah, it's too much combat driven for me.
Right.
The other one is more. It's the right amount of combat for me. Yeah, I like the other one better. I don't think one is better than the other. The new one is just more combat focused for people who like combat. Yeah, much better. But yeah, I like the old one better.
Yeah, this for me was one of those that I have all the expansions at home. I haven't played the last one. I bought it, but I haven't played it. But I love the game with all the expansions until the last one. I'm not going to talk about the last one because I really have no idea. Yeah, I really enjoyed the game. Yeah, this was one that I thought a lot of putting in my top 10, but it's so tight. It's like really difficult, and I had such good games that I couldn't put them off. So yeah, and I knew that someone would choose this, especially Thiago. So I was happy with that. I knew I could comment as if I would have chosen it. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
My number 4. Okay. This is a game that was already talked, but for me it's in a little bit higher rank. This is Role Player Adventure. Now I'm gonna say what I think about this game. For me, this is one of the best games that are story driven. I played with Thiago the whole campaign with our characters. We had lots of fun making the voices and everything, and it's one of those that we finished and we were already like, okay, we need to schedule the next one. This was really fun. And each chapter comes with a map that you are unlocking, and each choice you make has consequences almost further. And the way it's done, it's like really easy to teach, really easy to manage the components. And and you're doing the puzzle with dice, with cards that are equipment that you can manipulate the dice, so that you do like a combat that is required a certain set. And this for me, I bought the last expansion, and I haven't played it yet, but I'm really looking forward.
It's very easy to save and then to pick up again. It's so quick.
Just take a photo and I laminated the pages so that I could just do with a marker and then take a photo and clean it up. And the next time it was quite easy to put all the components there. It has a perfect save mechanism.
Perfect.
So this is
I need to play that.
Role Player Adventure, and I love Role Player, the other one, which I also have all the expansions, and it's pretty good. Another party game.
Party game. All right. So my number 4, it's the first big game on this list. I think is it? Is it?
No,
It is. Yeah.
Clank is not small.
No. Yeah. It's Arc Nova. Yeah, it's Arc Nova. Arc Nova. I just love the feel this game gives me. You're building your own zoo. It feels like a solitaire game, which it is in the most parts. But everything feels really good. We have very clever mechanic, card-driven mechanic, action selection, like the cascading mechanic, where the longer you wait for an action, the stronger it becomes. And then you have the scoring system, in which you have 2 tracks, one going one way, another going the other way, and when the 2 tracks cross, it ends the game, and the player with the most distance between them after crossing wins the game. It's just so good. It's one of those games that I don't care whether I'm winning or losing, I'm always having a good time with it. Honestly, it's that good. I mean, it doesn't look that good, but wow. It's a good game.
Look good.
It doesn't look good.
Even the board game, it's very dry. But the game is good.
But the game is amazing.
It almost made my top 10. Almost so close.
It's difficult to put everything in, right?
But it's also quite fun. I also played it a lot on Board Game Arena. Love it.
It's a really good
game. The only
very
issue
solid.
I had is that the mechanics are very inspired from Terraforming Mars.
Oh yeah,
it's
right.
It's a different game, but when you are learning it, and if you had played the Terraformer, there is a huge deja vu sort of feeling. But they did it in a very successful way. I really enjoy it. I don't love the theme, but I love the way that they did the game.
Yes,
it's puzzly and it's an engine, which I love the mechanic of engine building.
And it has turtles.
Yep, turtles.
Yeah.
So
and
you got it right there.
Yeah.
Yep. So my number, what is this?
Number 4.
Number 4, Arc Nova.
Number 3. Number 3 is a very special game. I bought it on a whim. And it's
it's that high.
Welcome to the moon.
I'm surprised that it's this high.
I went to the store, I saw this, and why not? I'm gonna buy it. And then I was so impressed. It's easy to teach, but deeply strategic, depending on the map. There are some maps that are super simple, anyone can play. And then there are other maps that are more for gamers, let's say. But it's always a hit with any group. If I see that there's a group of players where someone is less experienced, I just put a simpler map, and everyone has fun nonetheless. There's no downtime because it's simultaneous play, and there's endless replayability. There's 8 maps on such a small box. There's a campaign on this small box. There's a solo mode. This game is amazing. Welcome to the moon.
That game.
I have the original version of this. but yeah, when I which I really like, Welcome to. I don't remember the other part of the name. It's the yellow box.
It's just Welcome to.
I think it's just Welcome to, and I really enjoyed it. But when I played this for me is the most complete version of this, and it's perfect. It has this 8 sort of maps, which are actually 8 different sort of games with roll and write, with the show and
Flip and
right. Flip and right, yeah.
And but all of them feel quite different from each other, and all of them are quite brainy, that you need to really think a lot of what you're doing. And and even being a hardcore game, it can be taught to newcomers, and I think they will have a good feeling about it.
Yeah, I also own the base one, the collector's edition base one actually, and I like that one better. It has so many modules. It can be played in a lot of different ways. Yeah, absolutely. It's really, really good. All right, so my number 3.
Oh, that's fine.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's you. Sorry.
Okay, if you want, it's okay.
No, go.
And another party game. Yeah, this is the lightest one. Through the Ages.
That's a good party game.
This for me, it's like I love playing Civ games in video games, and sometimes they're not very well translated into board games or card games. But this for me is the best version of a Civ game. It has everything. It's accurate in terms of timeline. It shows you lots of very known characters that were very iconic, that like Gandhi, Napoleon, Einstein,
Caesar, Einstein,
all of this and many more. Charlie Chaplin. It's like you're navigating through all arts, religion, military. Yeah, but the way it's built in your board game, it's like you have to feed them. You have an economy to upgrade. You feel like you're really accomplishing stuff. It's one of those games that the best way to learn it's 2-player, because it's a lot of information and it's hard for you to look at the other players what he's doing. But after playing a lot of times, you become more customized with everything, used to it. And actually, I played it the last time and I loved it. Yeah, it's not an easy one to play. It's maybe easier to teach than I thought at the beginning. It is for a Civ game. It's,
maybe, yeah,
but it's very hard.
It's hard to be good at it. Yeah, to be good at it.
But this.
Yeah, it's really good. I
love this.
I wish that it didn't take so long to play. It's higher than 2-player counts.
Yeah, but
it takes a really long time to play.
You have the choice of making it. Normally, this is played in 3 eras.
Yeah.
Every time people get to the 3rd era, it's when they're already a little bit brain burnt. But there is a choice if you want to play just the 2 eras. You're not obliged to do this.
But that's not the game.
Yeah, but
you're not going through the whole game.
Feel unfulfilled. To learn, I would advise maybe to the first game, do the first 2 eras, and then if you really like it, do the 3.
Yeah, I guess.
Either way, for me, this a great game. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it absolutely is.
My number 3. Whoops.
Okay, so now, my number 3. It's another heavy game. It might be the heaviest game on these lists. It's on Mars. Yeah, a Lacerda game. I thought really hard about placing this on the list because I really enjoyed the game, but it's also really heavy. It's also very hard to get to the table. But when I managed to get it to the table, oh boy. Oh man, it's so good.
That's how he likes it.
Yeah.
Oh. So good.
The game is so thematic. You're developing a colony on Mars, and everybody's developing a colony on Mars, and you want to be the player who contributes the most. So you have resource management, you have a little bit of engine building. The game is very thematic, in which you have this space station orbiting the planets, and you're either on the space station gathering resources and blueprints and whatnot to later use on the surface of the planets to actually build stuff and develop your colony. Yeah, I find this very enjoyable, although heavy and complex. It takes some time to play, but yeah, it's always very enjoyable. I actually debated whether placing on Mars or Kanban EV on the list because I played it. I played it the other day, and I remember how much I loved it.
Yeah, for me,
Both games are incredible.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, it's still on Mars for now.
yeah.
I like Kanban a little bit better, but go ahead.
It's like I had a huge problem not to put Vital Lacerda all over my list, just because this I really like. It's a very difficult one to teach, but it's quite good experience. It has a mechanic that I didn't enjoy, which was an expansion that was one versus all.
Mhm.
But if you play just everyone against each other, for me, it's the perfect point for this game. Kamba, Weather Machine, and the Gallerist for me are my top from
I also
Vital
like this.
Lacerda.
Yeah.
And for me, they would be in my top, but yeah. For disclosure, I didn't put any of Vital. I'm sad about it, but I had to make choices. But yeah, Vital for me, it's a really good designer.
It's top notch.
Their games
Absolutely,
are very
yeah.
thematic and worker placement at its top.
Yeah, absolutely.
Still like on Mars a lot. I'm probably the only one who liked the co-op modes.
But
Strangely enough.
you've never played.
I played the competitive mode,
You did?
but I think I like
Oh,
the
right.
cooperative mode better.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
But I'm
Yeah.
strange like that.
No,
Sure.
It's good. It's good maybe for Vital to know that people like
I
some
li-
of the modules.
I
that
like
they-
both of them actually. I like both versions. I like the versatility and the freshness of the one versus many game.
It had an interesting
it works.
mechanics, but it's just like for me the top spot is like just how it was designed, at least in the beginning. For me, yeah, it's just my opinion.
Yeah, everything works. So
Yeah.
yeah, my number 3 on Mars.
All right. So I went to Essen.
You
2002.
Me too.
I was the first on the
Up on the queue.
on the queue. I was the first one to get this one.
Right.
God,
Thank God.
I was there.
That's
I
your number
woke up in the
2.
morning.
What's your number 1?
Well, we'll see.
Mhm.
No, what's so great about Revive? It's all about combos. I love combos. I love how you play one thing and you do a bunch of things, and you feel fulfilled. My life is fulfilled. I play
Oops.
Revive, and my life is complete. No, but I play this game so many times, and every time I use a different strategy because there's so many different, factions, I guess you could say. And I always try different ones, and it always feels different. Even the same ones have two sides to them, so you can simply, if you have already played one, can simply flip it, and it feels really different. It feels like a heavy hero, like it's fulfilling to like your strategy because it feels like a heavy hero, but it's actually very intuitive, and it doesn't take that long. It's not. It feels long, but it's not long. It's just you do so many things that time flies by. Revive, awesome.
Yeah, I played this.
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, I played this one. The first time I played it, I really loved everything, the explanation of the game, all the mechanics that he was teaching me. But I don't know why the first time I played it, it finished too fast, and I was like surprised with that. The other times I played, especially the last one, the game took much longer, and for me it was much more enjoyable. And we tried with the last expansion. It doesn't add that much, but what it has is quite good. All the characters are quite different, the symmetry from each of us. And yeah, I love it to unlock stuff and to see things.
I was also the first one to pre-order the expansion.
Thank God. I love it. Keep buying games.
Yeah, I like the game is really good looking too. I like especially the overlapping tracks.
Yeah.
So you need to be on these both tracks to unlock this. I really like that.
When you first look at it, it looks complicated, but then you explain it, and oh, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it has one thing that I love in board games, which is dual layer. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
satisfying where you
Yeah.
can shake and everything stays in place. Yeah,
Yeah, dual layer
it's
boards.
beautiful.
Yeah, you gotta
It's
have
beautiful.
dual layer boards.
Do it more. Designers.
Yeah, do it.
We
Yeah,
need
you
it.
should do it more.
Do
But
it now.
it's a very expensive procedure actually. That's why it's not done a lot in board gaming. Hello, Pintar Fácil. So
Hello.
let's get on with it.
Okay, so you're already getting used to my very light games, my very party
Your
sort of
party,
games.
very
This is
good.
what I call a party.
Ooh.
So this for me, I have a huge fight inside of my head every time because this is very tied with the first place. It just isn't in first place because I find it very hard for me to find the right group to play with. But when I play it, I love everything about this game. The visuals, it's a very sort of a hallucinogenic, sort of like Beatles, Yellow Submarine sort of vibe. It's a like a fable. It's a very interesting one. It's like a area control. You have guild control. You have hand managing. You have like 11 cards with different actions. And depending on the character you have, you can have in that card a boosted version of that card. And you have to make tough choices. It's just really hard to teach. It's the only problem I have with this game. It takes a lot of time. I wish I had people just come into the table and say, we are ready. And we just play because the game actually isn't that hard to learn. It's hard to play well, but it's not hard to learn. It just takes a lot. It's a lot of information, and it can become overwhelming. But I think if I play a lot of times with the same group, that group might become the game starts flowing really well. I'm just sad that I don't put it more times because this for me would be a number one for sure. But yeah,
it's hard to start because it's just too much information at the beginning, but then it's intuitive. You get it after all of that information dump. You get it.
Yeah, well explained. It's people get it.
Pintar Fácil is saying Feudum, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds board game.
Lucy in the Sky. Yeah. As I said, Beatles' wife.
Yeah, I've never played it. I don't know if I would actually enjoy it. I don't think it's my kind of game, actually. Yeah, I don't think so.
I think you would be surprised. It's like me with Root. I didn't think it was my kind of game. It depends on the person who explains it to you, and you might get surprised.
Maybe. Yeah, I mean, I might try it at some point. Maybe.
I'm up for teaching it.
All right. So my number 2 has been my number 1 for a really long time, but now it's not. And it's Scythe. Yeah, this has been my number 1 since it came out in 2016, actually. I really love everything about this game. I love the mechanics. What I love the most is the setting, the artwork. I love everything about it. It's an efficiency game. It looks like a war game when it's set up on the table. It's not. It's an efficiency game. You do this action, and you want to do the bottom row action, and you want to be doing that throughout the whole game. This game is a race. The combat in this game, there is combats, but it's more the threat of it. It's like a Cold War. It makes for like 20% of the game. It's not that meaningful. So I'm fine with it. It has just the right amount of combat for me, for my tastes. But yeah, the game is... I like everything about it. It's very good looking. I like the mechanics a lot. Yeah, Scythe. You also like Scythe.
I love Scythe. And unfortunately, I didn't put it in my top 10 list, but it's what I said, choices. This has the mechanics I really like, which is unlocking stuff. You have the top part and the down part, and you're like unlocking things from the top from the bottom to the top. and you're making everything cheaper in the top and making everything more boosted in the down part.
Yeah.
And it's so satisfying.
It's actually the other way around. You're making
Yeah, I don't
the
know.
boosted actions on the top and the bottom row actions cheaper.
I haven't played it for a while. Yeah, but it can be a deceiving game because I had a group that I taught this game, and they were all very upset with me because they thought this was a war game and this was all about fight. I explained that there are many ways to win this game. You have to do 6 objectives. Some of them can be up to 2 combats, but most of them are dominating areas, getting popularity, getting on top of some tracks and stuff, or unlocking some things. So yeah, I tried to explain, but then at the end they got a little bit upset because they thought that it was just about the combat, and I won the game, so they got even more upset. They don't like when I win. But yeah, I love everything. The setting, sci-fi mixed with the realistic sort of environment. Yeah, perfect game.
Yeah. So number 2, Scythe.
Don't talk about it. You like?
You don't like Scythe?
I think it's fine.
It's a game.
It's too mean
It's
for him.
definitely a game.
It's definitely a game.
They're not sweet enough to each other on the board game, so yeah. More friendly. Okay.
So
All right.
So
finally, number
objectively
1.
best game in the
Yes,
whole world.
objectively.
It's Gloomhaven. Jaws of the Lion.
All right.
Why is Jaws of the Lion better than Gloomhaven, the original? Because of the book. The book turns a 1-hour setup into a 15-minute setup. And you just open the book and start playing. It's so much better. So much better. Now, I played it solo through the whole campaign. And now I'm playing it with my girlfriend, and we're having so much fun picking up all the coins. It's awesome.
And buying stuff.
Buying
Going to
stuff,
shop.
shopping together. It's the
You
best.
give her some gifts on the way.
Like, here, have my item.
Take this necklace. Oh, I'm such a rich guy. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
It's a very deeply strategic game where you have a whole bunch of cards in your hand depending on your character. Some cards you have 9, some cards you have 11, and then you have to pick up the 2 best cards for that situation. And you have to think about the whole scenario from start to finish, because if you run out of cards, and you don't have the good cards to get that big combo at the end, to defeat the big monster at the end, you have to think about everything from start to finish. I love it. It's the best.
Yeah, I haven't played this version yet.
It's like regular Gloomhaven, but
I love
a little bit simpler and more streamlined. But yeah, I thought really hard. I considered putting that one on my list as well, but I haven't been playing that one much lately, so that's why it didn't make it. But yeah, it's just you open a booklet and there you have it.
Yeah, more games to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stop with the talk. That's why Frosthaven didn't do so well.
It did do really well.
It did really well.
What
I mean is, it's not high. It's not really high on the ranking.
It is really high. It's getting there.
It's
getting there. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, it's the only problem I had with the original Gloomhaven was the part of the story, because actually the story was almost like very generic sort of dungeon crawl and fantasy environment. Otherwise, the mechanics, how they did the managing of the cards, and that part is your life, so you have to really choose well the cards you play. For me, it was like an amazing mechanic. And I love the game. We played the campaign of the original one until a certain point. I was really sad that we stopped, because for me it was I was really enjoying it. And Frosthaven, I think it fixes a little bit the part of the history, and also in the original Gloomhaven, you go to the city, the town, and you don't do much. You just go there to buy, and you have some meaningless meetings. But in Frosthaven, I know that you are upgrading the city,
Yeah.
you're building stuff.
Yes.
It's happening stuff. So I would really love to play Frosthaven, but unfortunately,
But
I can't.
more games nowadays are doing the book thing, like Kinfire, Tile Blades 2. Put a book in it, and I'll buy it.
Yeah, I like the mixture. I like books, and I like as well to just lay everything here and feel the realism of where we are walking.
Yep. So, what's your number one?
So my number one, yeah, I didn't bring the big box, but I have the big box of this. This is a game I love. In fact, I love this company, Mind Clash Games. They did Tricerium. They have Cerebria, which I also love, and I don't know why it's not in my top 10, but it's difficult to put everything there. And they have the new one, Voidfall, which I tried, but I didn't finish the game. That's why it's not on my top. But actually, when I was playing, it was like amazing space game and no luck factor. And yeah, it was really good. But this one, first time I played this game again, a game that I changed my mind. First time the person who explained it didn't explain well the game, so I hated the game. In the middle, I just wanted to finish. But then one time in Lisbon, I went to a meeting and the girl decided to explain this game, and I was like, okay, let's see.
Okay.
But she explained so well the theme that I simply turned everything for me with this game. It's the best worker placement, in my opinion, that I have. And to have the deluxe version with the robots, where you put your worker inside the robot, it's like, it might seem like bling bling, but for me to play without it, it would change completely the experience. And it is the best translation of time travel with anomalies and everything that you can make into a board game, in my opinion. Because the story of this, I don't know if you want to know, but it's like a meteor reaches the Earth and destroys almost everything. Just a few colonies survive in very poor way. So, but with this meteor, they come with a component called neutron to develop this time travel ability. So they go to the past and then they try to try to rebuild their dome in a way that they become the rulers, because each of these colonies has a different sort of belief. So they are trying to become the rulers, the institutionalize in the future. Yeah, I don't know if I explained very well, but yeah, it's my favorite game. Accurate.
Yeah, it's a good game. I enjoy it. I think it's the time travel theme. It's really hard to do, and that board game absolutely nails it. It's a thing it's not easy to do in board games.
Yeah, they do it really well.
But yeah. So
yeah, that was my number one.
All right. Finally, my number one. It's a game that came out of nowhere. It's a very new game. Nucleum, yeah. So this game, it's called a mix between Brass and Barrage, and while you can absolutely see the DNA mix between both of them, it's its own game. I mean, it's so good. The setting during the how do you call it? Industrialization something period, something like that.
I never played.
On the turn of the century. So you're industrializing Saxony, and they've just discovered nuclear power, and you're building stuff, and you have to deliver energy to the buildings, and you do so in a very clever way. It's an action selection game. You're using tiles to do both actions, and then you're discarding the tiles, and then you pick them back up, and you get income based on how much of them you played. Oh man, it's so good. Or you can also play them to the map. It's so clever. This game is so clever. I love everything about it, really. I don't particularly like Brass because it's very restrictive. But this one, I really enjoy. I really love Barrage also. But this one, yeah, it just makes it for me.
The designers are one of the best.
I mean,
the best.
yeah, David Turczi and Simone Luciani. So yeah, it's a very
That's the one of Underwater Cities, right? No, maybe no.
no Simone.
No, the other one.
David Turczi. No, it's the designer from
okay.
Anachrony.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I felt some familiarity with that. Yeah, this for me, it was like when I saw it coming out, I have Brass, Lancashire, I think. And I really love the game. It's a more simple, streamlined version of this one. This one learned from Brass, and it upgraded, put it in on steroids. Yeah. In the beginning, I was very reluctant, but since he bought it, I was like, okay, let's try. And it was a huge surprise because even though it's a lot of inspiration from these two things, Brass and Barrage, it becomes something totally different, and it's a very interesting how it all mixes. Yeah, I really loved it. I don't have it on my top 10, but yeah, since it's so new, yeah, that's why I still need to play it more times.
It's a very new game, yeah.
But I loved it.
But yeah, you haven't played it yet. I don't think it's your kind of game, actually. But yeah, you might enjoy it.
I actually think so too. I looked at it and it just colors everywhere.
Yeah, it's not very good looking, but the game behind it's very solid.
But I think you should give it a chance.
Yeah,
you might be surprised. I don't know.
I agree.
Don't underestimate.
Yep. All right. So
yeah,
this is our top 10 games of all time.
I hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I don't know if chat has any questions. So do you see these lists changing a lot in the future?
I think so. When Tidal Blades arrives and other games that I'm looking at, like Kinfire, I see it changing.
For me, I don't know. It might change a bit or a lot, since I had such a problem making this list because I have so many games that I didn't put here. Nowadays, I think it's more hard for me to become impressed with a new game. I don't know why. This is happening more and more. It's starting to feel like it's a lot of games that are going to chew from the past, and it's a lot of deja vu. But there's always originality in the creativity.
It is what it is. So, We've played a ton of games.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to come up with something new for someone who's played a ton of games. So yeah. So see you in LyriaCon. Yes, I will absolutely be going to LyriaCon. I'll see you there. Are you guys going?
I don't think so, but I don't know. Let's see.
We'll see. Is there the new Revive expansion in LyriaCon?
Maybe. You never know. So, yep. Okay. And we are done here. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, leave them out in the comments below. And have a good one. Bye.
See you on the flip side.